Ohio State has the best offense in the country. I don't think there's any team that can hang with their offense. Georgia defense, I think, would give them a run for their money, but there's no other offense that compares to this Buckeye offense. This Buckeye offense is so good. I mean, how many points have they had combined? Let's do some math here. So they've had 4 straight games with at least 50 points. So we got 59 plus 52 plus 66 plus 54. Oh, yeah. You know what? Just a casual 231 points in the last 16 quarters. Not bad at all. They've scored over 40 points in all but one of their games, the one that not being Oregon. Oh, NBA fans coming in here. Not to be that guy. Well, you're going to be that guy by immediately saying that. Talk areas of improvement. CJ's power and accuracy to the boundary is definitely a consistent area of concern. Do you think it's arm strength or inaccuracy, fixable or no? I think something like that is probably fixable. He might get older and his arm might get stronger. Definitely getting into the weight room is possible, but there's a bit of inaccuracy in there. I have no issue with Stroud's accuracy. I think his accuracy is fine. Maybe those boundary throws are a little bit tougher because you're throwing, in rain like that. I'm not sure, but I think that's kind of a nitpick, which is fine. I can understand if that's sort of the way you're looking at it because you're looking for areas of improvement. I totally get that. So I see it as a tad bit of a nitpick, but that's okay. To each their own. I see what you're coming from. I see where you're coming from. 70 over under. Yeah, what game will Ohio State score 70 points in? Maybe against Purdue, maybe against Nebraska, or against Penn State. We'll get to the Penn State game. Don't worry. I'm very happy about that game. I went to the University of Illinois, so we'll talk about that game. Georgia defense is good, but I do not think the offense can keep up with ours at all. No offense in the country can keep up with the OSU offense. OSU has the most talented and most efficient, productive offense in college football. There's no comparison to any other team in the country. The only defense that I think gives them a run for their money is Georgia. Maybe Alabama. I'm trying to think of anybody else. I mean, really, those are the only two that I can think of off the top of my head. Oh, OSU UGA total for an over-under? Ooh, that's actually a good number. I mean, it'd have to be like 70.5 or 69.5. Nice. Just based on odds, but I get that. Yeah, CJ's thrown 14 touchdowns in 3 games, no interceptions. Redonkulous. Sure, it's against sort of the bottom of the barrel teams of the Big Ten, but still, this is conference games. This is conference football. Finding open guys, throwing to open guys. It helps for CJ Stroud that he has probably the 2 best wide receivers in college football to throw to, in Chris Olave and Garrett Wilson, not to mention Jackson Smith and Jigba, who's severely underrated and is really starting to get noticed around the country as a premier wide receiver. Jeremy Ruckert's a great tight end. I would love to see more game time for Emeka Egbuka and Marvin Harrison Jr. I'd love to see more of them. And then, of course, Travion Henderson is the breakout star of the year. The guy's going to have maybe the best freshman season in Ohio State history. He's on that path. No question. Let's not mention users like that. Cool kid. Let's relax a little bit, buddy. SDC, what a thorough ass whipping. For sure. That's the good way to describe it. I think we would watch AL defense. I don't think they are that great this year. They're not that great. What's the score of that game? Did Alabama win? I got a new PC, so I can do sort of a double box here. Yeah, Alabama. Excuse me. Alabama won 52-24. Absolute destruction. Notre Dame beat USC. Texas A&M beat South Carolina. SDSU beat Air Force. NC State and Miami are in a close one for the games tonight. CJ did that in less than 9 quarters. I know. See, what a freaking beast. What a freaking beast, David. CJ's been awesome. OSU looks great. Absolutely great. Think Henderson will break the freshman TD record? Absolutely, Lanny. There's no doubt in my mind. He has 14 touchdowns now in 7 games. There's 5 games to go. He needs 5 more. So he needs to average a touchdown in 5 games. He's breaking Clorette's record. No question about it. I'm pretty confident about that. Travion Henderson is on pace to have the greatest freshman year for any Ohio State player ever and one of the best freshman seasons a running back's ever had in college football. That's the path he's on. He was a fine, amazing Amazing job from the recruiting team to get him, and he's been a revelation. Incredible player. Claret had a good tweet. He did? What did Maurice Claret say? I didn't know Maurice Claret was on Twitter. I mean, I guess everyone's on Twitter. Let me see. Maurice Claret, typing with one hand keyboard with my left hand. There he is. Maurice Claret on Twitter. What'd he say? I don't know who made her. Okay, no. Man, this guy is tooting a lot during the game. T. Henderson understands the flow and pace of zone running, very good at letting the scheme unfold while getting upfield. Yeah, it kind of reminds me of Le'Veon Bell, just not as patient as Le'Veon Bell. So when has Henderson played the whole game? I don't know. He hasn't really had the chance to play a whole game because nothing's been really that close. Claret also said the OSU run game is established, which means you'll get the coverage on the wide receivers that you want, which means it's about to be abuse all over the field. Yeah, he called it. Indiana University is one of the best cheeseburger places on campus I've ever had. That's something great about them. Well, hey, positive for the Hoosiers. They have a great cheeseburger place if you like cheeseburgers. More of a future wide receiver room projection. Does Fleming make the 3 deep next year with Jackson having to come back? MHJR. I wouldn't know too much about that, NBA fan, to be perfectly blunt with you. I like to focus on the in-season stuff currently. There's still 5 games to play in this season, and Ohio State right now is the favorite probably to win the Big Ten based off the way they're playing. But they have to win the next 3 weeks before those 2 huge games against the Michigan teams. Fleming might make it. For Henderson to do this with such a pass-oriented team makes his numbers that more insane, right? How good the passing game and the running game is combined is phenomenal. It's really cool to see, Joe. I totally agree. He had a comment on the record? Did he? I didn't see. I'll have to go back that later. Claret actually said Henderson will break his record. Yeah, I mean, he will break his record. Just look at the numbers. Unless Henderson gets injured or they stop playing him and they start Williams or Teague more, then Henderson won't break the record. If they keep using Travion Henderson as the starter and he gets the amount of carries and receptions he does, he's breaking the record. He's four away from tying, and there's 5 games left. He's on pace to probably have like a 20-22 touchdown season. And Smith and Jigba just keeps getting better too. This OSU team just keeps getting better. Just keeps getting better. And that kind of ties the bow on the Indiana game, because let's face it, it was a destruction. Which leaves us to what we thought was going to be a really big top 10 game the night before Halloween between Penn State and OSU in Columbus next Saturday, but is now not going to be a top 10 game because Penn State inexplicably lost to Illinois, the Illinois Fighting Illini, the mighty ILLINIs, in 9 overtimes. 9 overtimes at home. They lost 20-18, the craziest college football game in the history of time. 9 overtimes. And what's funny is I was working in the afternoon and I didn't get a chance to watch the game, and I still was able to watch 5 overtimes because I missed the first 4, but then I watched from 5 to 9. Absolutely crazy. I mean, I'm happy Illinois won. Huge upset for the Illini, but oh my God, I cannot believe Penn State didn't win that game. And I can't believe that game went to 9 overtimes. The new overtime, it's like if what happened in baseball. Baseball adds the second runner on base rule for extra innings to try and make games shorter. And let's say that happens, but a game lasts till 20 innings. That's what happened with the college football overtime rules. They changed the rules to have the 2-point conversion, rock, paper, scissors back and forth. And it didn't, and it backfired because it made it go longer. It made it go longer. At that rate, you might as well just stop with the 2-point conversion back and forth. Just have like a penalty shootout like in soccer with the kickers, and you just have a field goal off, and you keep moving back each overtime. Oh my God. Not happy Penn State lost. I wanted the Buckeyes to be the team which crushed their dreams. Hard to compete with the lost. It's true. Absolutely fair point. Illinois stinks at football. They stunk when I was there and covering the team. They still stink now. It certainly makes the game against Penn State less, not as big of a reputation win, assuming they win the game. But even still, Penn State's still a good football team. It's their toughest game until Michigan State. It's their toughest game they've played probably since playing Oregon. So it's a big one. Got to win that game. Got to look convincing because, like you said, the fact that Penn State lost to Illinois, and if Ohio State didn't convincingly beat Penn State and scored 45, 50 points or however much, at least 35, 40 points, they probably need to score just because of how good this offense is. Then it would look, well, maybe Illinois would beat Ohio State. I'm fairly confident that the Illini would beat OSU. Would probably take 15 overtimes instead of 9. So